that we were fortunate that we worked together with all operators of public transport in Jakarta and created an integrated system of public transport. It's called Jaklingko. All modes of transportations being integrated in terms of payment system, which is ticketing, integrated in terms of routes, and integrated in terms of management. So when these three aspects were integrated, it has helped common Jakartans to take public transport anywhere in the city, to reach anywhere in the city with a single payment, with a single card, but they're able to transfer from one place to another, and the maximum price is 10,000 rupiah. So this is the idea. If you want to convert the populations from using private vehicles into public vehicles, you need to make it as a rational choice decision. If you campaign on the idea of protecting, the climate, protecting, the environment, which is important, but it costs them more, then you will not be seeing people converting from private vehicles into public transport. But if it is a rational choice, if it is something that you would do it because it is much cheaper, it is much more efficient, much more convenient, people will do it, and we will benefit in total. So let me give you an illustration. If you're coming from the very south side of Jakarta, which is Jakarta, for example, and you're trying to reach Kelapa Gading, if you're using private motorcycles like Gojek, Grab or anything, it may cost you about 85,000 to 100,000 rupiah. But if you take Jaklingko, it'll cost you 10,000 rupiah. So imagine, 85,000 to 100 and 10,000. It will be irrational to actually pay 90.
Thank you, Professor Tim Powers, Professor Paul Chesty, and all participants. Allow me to express my appreciation again. Thank you for having me after my first visit last May. It was indeed one of the most memorable visits to a university. This is one of the oldest, and it was a very brief visit. So we planned to do a second one, and we thought by the time I completed my term as governor, we will have more time. That's what we thought. Apparently, that's not the case. And this is my second, and I truly appreciate the invitations, not only to the university, but also the invitation to serve as one of the board member for the Institute for ASEAN Studies here at Oxford University.
Now, with regard to using Bahasa as ASEAN language, we need to enrich our language to begin with. I don't know how many words in Malay today. How many words of Malay? The number of words in the Malay language. How many? Anyone? In Bahasa Indonesia, we have 150,000 words in Bahasa Indonesia. And I remember when I started my job as Minister of Education, at that time it was only around 90,000. So I told our team, we need to enrich our language because 90,000 is not enough. Do you know how many words in the language, in English language? 1 million. And 7,000 additional words every year. How many languages in Arabic? 12.7 million words. Okay? So when you talk about our language becoming a language of international community, you really need to do our homework, enrich our language. How do we enrich our language? Absorb local language across the archipelago. Across the archipelago. Because in many local languages, even the word falling, it can be 20 words of falling. If you fall to the front, that's a different word. If you fall to the back, that's a different word. If you fall because it's slippery, that's a different word. And if you fall because there is a hole, it's a different word. What I'm saying is that, richness of language is important when you present it to the international community as an international language. So that is why it's important for us here in Indonesia and Malaysia to continue enriching our language so that we can stand up in the international community and presenting our language to the world. But if we haven't done our homework, wait a minute, okay? Hold on. So
Mayor Ahmad Abu Talib, Mayor Eric Garcetti, and also our friends Emilia Sais from the UCLG, and Milak from C40, and all the delegates coming from the participating cities, including Indonesian mayors for joining us tonight. Let me name a few. The Mayor of Palu, Pak Rahmat Masud. Where are you, Pak Rahmat? Mayor of Palu. There we go. That's the Mayor of Palu. Palu is located in the southeast of Sulawesi Island. So it took about 3 to 4 hours of flying to get into his city. And then the Mayor of Palembang, are you here yet? Because one bus was left behind. So some of us are a bit behind, already here now. All participants, all delegation, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me on behalf of the people and the government of Jakarta to welcome all of you in this city. You have experienced, it's the first day in our city. I hope Jakarta treats you well so far, and we hope that you will enjoy Jakarta. But allow me to say a little bit about our city. This city has islands of 111 islands, part of our city. Perhaps this is the only city in the world, megapolitans, that have islands as part of the city. 11 were populated, so they're located north of us, and south of us were the highlands. So we are in locations that has been central of trades for centuries. And the ship that we are at, the Finisi, this is the ship that has transported spices from the Malukus all the way to Africa, all the way to Europe for centuries. So this is the one, the ship that has transported all the spices there. So we have decided, let's do the first evening, having a dinner in a coastal area, enjoy the sunset. Unfortunately, the cloud was was not that friendly to us today, but we would like you to experience that Jakarta is not a city in the central of a continent. It is actually in the coastal area, and we have been working to transform this coastal area into visitable places. In the past, the coastal area was mostly for industry. Unfortunately, minimum engagement. So generally, Jakartans didn't feel like they're living in the coastal area. So in the past few years, we started working on that, and we're grateful to see the result. Now more and more people are coming to the beach. More and more people coming to the coastal area. So that's a little bit about us, and the rest, we'll have the more serious session tomorrow. Tonight, we hope you enjoy the evening, the engagement, the music, and I hope this will bring you a special experience of having an evening in a Pinisi ship that has been here for hundreds of years. And by the way, the UNESCO has already declared this as intangible World Heritage, so the Pinisi. So if we are actually opening up everything, it can actually sail. We will be doing a little bit of sailing.
Halo teman-teman, jumpa bersama saya di Politik Dangi ya. Luar biasa sekali ya teman-teman, bagaimana pidato Anies Baswedan yang sangat-sangat berkelas teman-teman ya. Tidak bisa diragukan lagi ya, bagaimana kecerdasan, kehebatan dari Anies Baswedan ya, tokoh yang berada di garis oposisi namun mempunyai kekuatan yang luar biasa. Anies adalah sosok calon presiden mendatang teman-teman yang masih sangat kuat. Kalau kita bisa melihat ya, bagaimana survei-survei yang ada per hari ini, Anies itu adalah tokoh oposisi yang paling kuat yang dapat menantang Prabowo 2029. Padahal kalau kita melihat sebenarnya bukan Anies sendiri yang oposisi, ada PDI Perjuangan ya. Kemudian ada kader-kader PDI juga ya, seperti Pramono Anung, Puan Maharani, Ganjar. Namun mereka itu disalib oleh sosok Anies, teman-teman. Dan inilah kenapa saya katakan bahwa Anies ini ya, betul-betul menjadi ancaman bagi partai-partai atau kader-kader lain yang nama Anies itu bisa mengalahkan mereka semua. Bahkan kalau kita melihat survei-survei, teman-teman, nama Anies itu bentereng di nomor 2 setelah Prabowo Subianto. Karena inilah yang saya katakan bahwa Anies itu sosok pemimpin yang cerdas, rekam jejaknya luar biasa, ya kan. Prestasi-prestasinya waktu beliau menjadi gubernur Jakarta itu masih menjadi perbincangan, ya. Masih menjadi ingatan masyarakat, sehingga jangan heran kalau Anies itu ya mampu ya, bersaing dengan tokoh-tokoh lain, teman-teman, termasuk Prabowo Subianto. Kejeniusan Anies yang berikutnya adalah ia dapat membaca peluang, teman-teman ya. Jadi per hari ini bagaimana ia mempunyai partai politik baru, yaitu Gerakan Rakyat, yang dapat bersaing di 2029 ini. Ya, Gerakan Rakyat adalah partai yang ia dirikan bersama dengan relawan-relawannya. Ini dibangun bukan tanpa alasan. Bagaimana ia pada saat jadi gubernur Jakarta ya, harusnya ia maju, namun tidak maju karena partai-partai lain itu menarik dukungan, teman-teman, karena tekanan politik yang sangat luar biasa. Namun Anies tak menyerah ya. Akhirnya ia juga melakukan banyak manuver yang luar biasa, membangun partai, membangun organisasi sosial, teman-teman. Bagaimana menurut kalian? Kita diskusi di kolom komentar ya.